Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome into the channel. My name is Brent with Investing on the Go. Today, we are going to be covering using dividends to eliminate margin debt. As of this week, we have hit the lowest amount of margin that we've been using in our account, and that is all because of dividends. So, we're going to be going ahead and covering our No 8 to 5 living from our brokerage using Robinhood series. This is going to be week 34 update for 2026. In this video, we're going to go ahead and start off by going over the weekly dividends that we were paid out and the cash back that we received. Then we're going to be jumping into our weekly buys. We did do some buys this week. Then we're going to go ahead and go over how did our buys affect our dividend portfolio as a whole and the income update moving forward because of these shares that we purchased. That affects our overall income moving forward. And then we're going to be jumping into our margin journal update here. We can go ahead and see all of the inflow and outflow of our portfolio, where money came in at, where it went. We did end up paying down some bills using our margin account. We paid down some margin interest. We had some dividends received and we had some cash back. So quite a bit of things happening this week within the account. And then we'll be finally jumping into our Robinhood portfolio to do a quick recap of the day, the week, and a look at our overall portfolio health within the platform. So let's go ahead and jump into the weekly dividend update. So jumping into the dividends and cash, we did receive a number of cashback. We spent a bit this week in terms of things that we had to spend on normal bills and expenses coming out of the credit card, and then some other miscellaneous things, right? So earlier in the week, we were able to cash back $8.12, then $7.46, $1.40 here. And then finally, just as of an hour ago, I looked at my brokerage account and I said, oh, I still have some cash back in there. I like to try and do this every day. And I cashed it out. So all in all, from all of our cash back that we received this week, we got $24.04 in cash back kicked back to us within our margin account. They just kind of, it's extra cash in the account that helps manage the margin, or I could just use it to invest and buy back more shares. Then we had our very first dividend this week that got paid out back on August 19th, based on our share count of $6,354. It paid out a whopping $2,496.26, making this, I believe, the largest dividend payout that we received within our dividend portfolio. Now, it was 0.3927 per share is how much it paid out this week, which I believe is one of the highest amounts in terms of the amount paid out per share and just the total amount that we received in our dividend portfolio. So a massive amount right there. Next up, the dividend that we received here on Friday right after is the NEOS Bitcoin High Income ETF. This is ticker symbol BTCI. It has been going up off of its lows here recently within the last week and a half. It's gained nearly 10% off from where it was recently. So based on our 300 shares this past week, we were able to get paid out 0.6289, which totaled $188.67, hitting our margin account. Now, that is not it. We continue to receive additional dividends. Next up, we had another payout from the NEOS Gold High Income ETF. This is ticker symbol IAUI. This is based off our 280 shares. It paid out 0.5182 to make a total of $145.10. So that is our third, but not final dividend. We had one more dividend getting paid out, and that was the Russell 2000 High Income ETF. This is ticker symbol IWMI. Now, this one paid out another whopping $1,336.42. And these are all dividends that were paid out within our margin account, and they pay down our margin. So all the capital that we're borrowing, these dividends roll into the account, and they've also been appreciating, or in this past week, they've been depreciating. But over time, these ETFs are growing consistently anywhere from 1 to 5% plus per year. So they're making some capital appreciation while at the same time they're paying down the margin to kind of keep it in line while I have no 8 to 5. Now, if we go ahead and add up our cashback of 2404, our TDAC payout of 2496.26, our BTCI payout of 188.67, IAUI of 145.10, and our last payout here of IWMI of 1,336.42. That gives us a grand total there of $4,190.49 that got paid out just this week alone to help manage and control any sort of margin that we're using within the account to kind of just pay it down. So that is a whopping amount of dividends and cash to receive within our margin account. So let me know down in the comments section below, how much did you receive in dividends this week? Is your focus on dividends or is it on growth? Now, next up, let's pop back over. Next, we're going to go ahead and go over into our weekly buys or sell. Now, I didn't sell anything this week, so it's going to be covering some buys. So let's jump into our buys here this week for August 16th to the 22nd. We had a single buy back on August 18th. We picked up ticker symbol TMGN. This week, instead of buying 10 shares, we were able to buy 11 shares. Now, I normally like to spend anywhere around $250 a week on purchasing shares within my portfolio. The stock market pulled back a good amount this week, so I said, you know what? $18 difference isn't going to be huge. So instead of 10 shares this week, I did end up pulling the trigger and buying 11 shares at $24.45. So if we pop over here into ticker symbol TMGN and we take a look at our buy date, we bought on August 18th at 6:51 a.m. So here we are. Here's the 18th right in here. So here's last Friday. Monday opened up. The market quickly sold off, but I was expecting a little bit more of a turbulence this week. So on Tuesday, again, market dropped off and I was able to buy right here at $24.45. Again, I'm not trying to time all the bottoms. I'm just trying to buy at where I feel is the best dollar cost averaging price to continue to just buy into the companies or ETFs that I enjoy at a lower buy price than hitting, near all-time highs. So, I'm not buying up in here. I could have bought last week up in here, but this week I assumed that this dip that we had, on Monday and into Tuesday would be a reasonable dip to buy. So here at 6:55 in the morning, so right around this point right here, as the market opened up, I went ahead and set up a buy. This was a market buy or a limit buy. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek in through here. It was a limit buy. So I always like to do limit buys. Sometimes I'll do market buys if I'm on the go, but in this case, at this time at 6:51 in the morning, I was more than likely just kind of waking up, looking at what the market was doing, and just made the decision to just buy instead of limit buy. So market dipped. I went ahead and set a limit buy, and I went ahead and purchased. Now, throughout the week into the remainder of Tuesday and into Wednesday, market did recover. And then Thursday, we did see the market kind of sold off a bit after Walmart kind of scared the market when it dipped. And that doesn't affect the MAG 10. This is TMGN. This is the Magnificent 10, but it still holds Meta. Meta was kind of fluctuating this week a bit. Microsoft was fluctuating a bit this week, but then we see that on Friday, the ticker symbol TMGN did recover and move up right to the right above our initial buy price earlier this week. So overall, pretty positive buy with ticker symbol TMGN, which is the Tap Alpha Magnificent 10 Growth and Daily Income ETF. Now, this one is going to be making a distribution if you invest by August 24th. So today I'm recording on the 22nd, which is Saturday. The 24th is Monday. But when you click on the button that says, view their distributions, they don't have any distributions yet for August. So it's still being decided. So on declaration on Monday, we should receive that data. And then if you own the stock, the ETF on August 24th, and you sit through the 25th, the dividend will be removed. It'll be the X dividend will get pulled, and then you'll get that payout on August 26th. So that'll be our very first time that we received something from the Tap Alpha Magnificent 10. If you guys are not familiar with this one holds the holdings within here. It holds Palantir, which has done really well after earnings. Microsoft did well after earnings. Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Google, Broadcom, Tesla, AMD, and Meta. Obviously, some of these are going to be up and down. Everything's going to be up and down throughout time, but these are 10 of the biggest and strongest companies here within the United States. So I feel pretty comfortable buying and investing and holding these for the long haul. So that is it. Did you guys buy any stocks this week? If you did, let me know down in the comment section below. Did you buy any individual stocks or ETFs? And let me know what you guys bought down below. Okay, so now, based on our buys that we did this week, how did those buys affect our dividend portfolio and our future income going forward? So for that, we pop into our dividend portfolio. Now, we can see right in through here. Here is our purchase back on August 18th. That was the Tuesday. We picked up ticker symbol TMGN. Our initial average cost basis was $23.69 because I did buy those shares in the $24 buy price. I did increase my cost basis from $23.69 to now $24.10. And my old shares, I used to own 40. I added 11 shares this week. That increased my total shares there to 51. The estimated income that I'm expecting from TMGN per share is estimated right around 0.34. As of Monday, we'll know for a fact where it's going to be at. And then over the next 3 to 6 months, I'll be taking the average of that and using that with my calculator information in here. So our past income is 1360. Our new income is estimated at 1734. That's a monthly difference of $3.74. Multiply that by 12. That is going to be increasing our yearly income going forward by $44.88. So, $40.80 has been kind of the average over the last few weeks, just because I have been buying more and more TMGN as the markets have been kind of moving around. Here's our updated portfolio as of now. 51 shares within TMGN. Our cost base is adjusted up to $24.10. As of now, our monthly average payout is looking at $6,215.06. And we did receive all of the dividends for the month of August already. So in our monthly recap for August, we'll be going ahead and covering all of the dividends that we received and see, did we go above our estimate or below our estimate? So definitely stick around and subscribe for that. And then going forward, as of this point in history, moving forward, our annual estimated yearly income right now is sitting at $74,580.77. Now, that's all estimated. It can be higher, it can be lower. And as we continue every single week to dollar cost average and increase our annual income from anywhere from $22, $18, $40, $44, it's going to continue to just yearly increase it slightly, ever so slightly, right? So definitely stick around to see where we are at next year with our portfolio value, our monthly dividends, and our yearly dividends moving forward. So let me know down in the comments section below, how much do you guys receive in monthly dividends every month, if that's your focus and your yearly dividends going forward. Okay, so that is going to be it in terms of our dividends, buys, and dividend portfolio. Next up, our margin journal. So as of now, our margin debt is now at the lowest point that it's been throughout our usage of margin. And that is all thanks to dividends getting paid out within our account and paying it down. So if we're going to pop over to our margin journal here and we look at today, well, this week, which is the 16th through the 22nd of August, this is officially locked. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this color in because our portfolio is locked in history here. Our portfolio value as of close on Friday is sitting at $355,232.22. We pop over to Robinhood dashboard here, and here we are. This is now the end of the week. We can see our portfolio value sitting at $355,232.22, and that's exactly as it says right here. Now, the big thing right now, our dividends are paying down our margin. So back when I started using margin within my portfolio, I started with 125,000, then I did another 10,000, and my margin use was at $135,719.91. Now, since then, I've had buys. I've been doing my weekly buys. You can see all my buys going in through here, besides 1 week back on, early July. Here we've had dividends getting paid into the account on a weekly basis. Here's all of the cash back that we've been receiving over the last few weeks, or if I did do some cash and deposit into my Robinhood account, I would mark that in here as well. Here's all of our cash out. Anytime I'm paying out money to pay down a credit card, to pay down a mortgage, a car, or some bill. It gets expensed out of here. And then here's our margin interest over the last 2.5 months of using margin within the account. So we can see right here that our margin use as of today, here on Saturday, August 22nd, our margin use is at $129,434.30. So that is the smallest amount of margin that we've used throughout the last 2.5 months. And that is all because our dividends and our cash in and all of that has just been helping to pay down the margin and manage it. So here, if we just take a look at this past week, we had a net change of going from last week into this week of negative $3,296.25 of less margin. We did end up spending some margin of $268.95 to buy ticker symbol TMGN. We received this week $4,166.45 in dividends. We had that cash back from our credit card of $24.04. We had a bill. I forgot to move, usually I paid this bill with my credit card and then I stopped the bill from going out because it auto pays from my direct deposit. But if I can put it on my credit card, it gives me that 3% cash back, but they don't have the credit card option on the site. So kind of weird. You can't auto pay it from a credit card, but you can go in there and manually pay it. So I usually do that every month, but I got lazy this month and didn't do it. So yeah, it charged me $135.01. And then I did have margin interest this month of $490.28. But going forward, we should hopefully pay down, a little bit less margin moving forward because we pay down our margin use to $129,434.30. So if we pop over to Robinhood, we can see right here, it matches our margin use right now is $129,434.30. And that's exactly as the margin use is in there. So the last 2.5 months, this system has been working. We've been able to cover our monthly credit card bill, our mortgage, our car, other miscellaneous expenditures within the account, all while maintaining our portfolio value, dividends rolling in, and maintaining the margin buffer as well. So I think the system here is in working order. Let me go ahead and just do a quick check. I need to update that. Our daily interest. Yeah, because I add lines in here, it kind of throws some stuff every time. So our current margin use is now showing correctly. Our daily interest is around 1605. And, estimatedly going forward, our estimated monthly interest will be around 481. So we'll see how it plays out within the next month. So that is our updated margin journal update on how our dividends are not only paying down our debt, but eliminate and manage the margin debt. So obviously, we do have one more week of August, and with that week of August comes expenses on our credit card. And at the end of August, we're going to be pulling from our margin account to pay down our credit card, our mortgage, our car. So the margin will begin to creep back up slowly, but in the next month, it'll continue to pay it back down. And we may see a new all-time low with margin use, or because maybe we spent a bit more in August, it might move up. I guess we'll see. Definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that. Okay, so as we are going to do last, let's jump into our Robinhood portfolio and go over the daily, weekly stuff. So Robinhood portfolio, we can see for the day on Friday, we gained a whopping 1.6%. On Friday, the market did do a bit of a recovery here. We can see the market gapped up on Friday, continue moving higher, moving, for the daily high there of around 767, hit some resistance. 767 is a big resistance point right now, and then trailed off into close a bit lower, but still higher than when it opened. So overall, seeing that the market put on a 1.6% gain in the day, that's $5,600 made back in that single day. And you can see the biggest, thing because of that was IWMI up 1.68%, IAUI, 1.42%, but makes up a small portion of our portfolio. So I think the IWMI, the Russell 2000, helped push the portfolio up there bigger on Friday. TDAC and TSPY, which track the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, moved up positively as well. Bitcoin, 4.85% there on Friday as well. Nice on the market. But overall, these are smaller positions. So IWMI definitely carried the portfolio higher in the day. And then TSPY, TDAC right behind it, kind of pushing it along. So overall, good on the day. If we take a look at our week, though, we are still down on the week 1.36%. So we're still down from last week into this week, right around $4,887.28. So, hey, we're still down for the week, but we're still, really close to all-time highs. Our portfolio essentially closed at all-time highs last week. We pulled down around 1.36% from our portfolio all-time high. And next week is a new week to see what our portfolio is going to do. Are we going to continue pulling back a bit now that we're behind and below that resistance point of 767, or will we break above it? Right now, on my other account, I do have a call on my S&P 500 SPY of 772 ending on Friday. So if the market does end up breaking through this 767, the next hard point resistance is at 772. This is going to go kicking back over here to August 19th, where it tried to break through that 772 and failed. So there are some of my little points going into next week from my other portfolio. And I am going to make an updated video going over my Fidelity account because I did buy back my call ending in December 31st. I opened up a new call and closed it quickly, made some profit, and opened up a new call for next week. So that's all coming out. I also bought and sold some Meta last week to make some cash in between. So definitely stick around, subscribe, and stay tuned for the updated Fidelity video coming out shortly, within the next few days. So let me know down in the comment section below, how was your portfolio this week? Were you positive? Were you negative? And that is going to be it for this video, guys. We went ahead and covered the dividends that we received this week, the buys that we performed, how those buys affected our dividend portfolio, our margin journal update that we were able to use dividends to pay down our margin debt to the lowest point that we've ever had it over the last 2.5 months. And we went over our Robinhood live portfolio. If you guys have any comments or questions going forward, definitely drop it into the comment section down below. Otherwise, I do really appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in and hanging out. And definitely join the Discord. It's completely free. Subscribe for more content. Smash that thumbs up. And that's it. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.